Hello. Today we're going to look at the standardized test practice for Chapter 1, Ratios and Rates. So I'm going to go through each question, write out how I solve my solution, and tell you the correct answer. So the ratio of cats to dogs seen by a veterinarian in one day is 2 to 5. If a vet saw 40 dogs in one day, how many cats did he see? So we know that the ratio of cats to dogs is 2 to 5. So the order matters, cats to dogs. So 2 is cats, 2 cats, 2, and the 5 is dogs, 5 dogs. Okay, so then it says the vet saw 40 dogs in one day. So since that's dogs, I'm going to put 40 on the bottom. How many cats did he see? We're going to put a question mark up there. Now I'm going to look, can 5 become 40? Well, yes, when I count by 5s, I do hit 40. It's times 8. So I'm going to do the same thing to the top. Times 8, we get 16. Number 2, at a sports camp, there is one counselor for every 12 campers. If there are 156 campers attending the camp, which equivalent ratios could be used to find the number of counselors? So I know there's one counselor to every 12 campers. So I should see a ratio that has 1 to 12. So this one has a ratio that says 1 to 12. This has a ratio that says 12 to 1, which is the same thing if we just flipped it. The other two, the 12 and the 1 are split up. The 1 is over here, the 12 is over here, the 12 is over here, the 1 is over here. So F and I are not going to be correct. So it's either G or H. So I'm going to set my own up to see if it matches one of them. So there's one counselor to every 12 campers. And we know there's 156 campers. So 156 is going to go on bottom because it's campers. And it looks like that matches this, what I have, matches this answer right here. It doesn't match this one. This 12 is lined up with the blank, and this 1 is lined up with 156. There's one counselor. This is saying 156 counselors, which isn't what it told us. It told us there were 156 campers. So G is the correct answer. Number 3, a car jack requires a force of 110 pounds to lift a 2,500-pound car. In simplest form, what is the ratio of the car's weight to the force required to lift the car? So we have to pay attention to the order it says. What is the ratio of the car's weight to the force required to lift the car? So I need to do weight over force in that order. So the car is 110 pounds. Nope, that's actually the force, right? A car jack requires a force of 110 pounds. The car is 2,500 pounds. That's its weight. So I'm going to put 2,500 over the force is 110 pounds. And it asked, so this is the correct answer, but it's not in simplest form. And it asked for it to be in simplest form. So to get this into simplest form, I need to divide the top and bottom by the same thing. So the first thing I know I can divide by is 10, because they both end in zeros. Dividing by 10 is going to get rid of our zeros. So it's going to get rid of 1 0 on each. 250 over 11. Now I just need to see 11. The only number I can divide 11 by is 11 in itself. Does 11 go into 250 evenly? Well, if I count by 11s, do I hit 25? 11, 22, 33? No, I don't hit 25. So this is going to be our answer in simplest form. I'm going to rewrite it and label it. 250 pounds is what the force, or 250, the weight was on top, right? So 250 pounds over 11, and that was also measured in pounds, but it was pounds of force. So I'm going to say pounds of force. And that's our answer. Number 4, a baker is making an oversized sheet cake for a school dance. The recipe calls for 2 cups of sugar for every 3 cups of flour. How many cups of flour are needed if she is using 18 cups of sugar? So I'm going to pay attention to the ratio they gave me. 2 cups of sugar for every 3 cups of flour. I'm going to write that down. 2 cups sugar for every 3 cups flour. She's using 18 cups of sugar. It says 18 cups of sugar. So I'm going to put 18 cups of sugar on the top because I need sugar to line up with sugar. And I don't know how many cups of flour. Now I'm going to put arrows towards what we don't know. Can 2 become 18? Yeah, if I count by 2s, I do hit 18. It's 9 times 9. So I'm going to do 3 times 9, and I get 27. So our answer is A, 27 cups. We're going to look at number 5. Which rate gives the best price for scrapbook paper? So we have 10 sheets for $2, 6 sheets for 60 cents, 5 sheets for $1, and 3 sheets for 60 cents. Well, before I even start, I'm going to get rid of ones that I know don't make sense. In this one, I get more sheets of paper for the same price as this one. This one I only get 3 sheets for the same price. This one I get 6 sheets for the same price. So this is not the best price. I'm going to cross that one out. There's no way it's sale D. So I'm going to cross out sale D. Okay, the other ones I can't really tell. This one charges more, but it's for more sheets of paper. So to figure this out, I'm going to find the unit price. Okay, I want to find how many dollars it costs for 1 sheet. So this one charges $2 for 10 sheets is sale A. $2 for 10 sheets. So to find the price per sheet, I'm going to divide by 10 because I want to make sheets 1. 1 sheet. 2 divided by 10. If I remember, dividing by 10 just moves king decimal back 1 space. So I get 0.2, or that's 20 cents. $0.20 for 1 sheet. Sale B, I'm going to do the same thing, but it's different numbers. We get 60 cents for 6 sheets. I'm going to divide by 6 to make sheets become 1 sheet. 60 cents divided by 6 is 10 cents. 10 cents for 1 sheet. Ooh, that's a better deal. So I know it's not sale A. Okay, and the last one that I need to do is sale C. $1 for 5 sheets. I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 5 to make it be 1 sheet. $1 divided by 5 is going to be 20 cents. Hey, that's the same as sale A. Those are the same price, so it can't be that one. So it is G, sale B, is the best price because it only charges 10 cents for 1 sheet. Which of the following ratios is equivalent to 5/7? Well, instead of writing out 5/7, I'm going to write equals 5/7, and I'm going to write a question mark. Is it equal to 5/7? Well, yeah, 10 can become 5 if I divide by 2. Is 12 divided by 2 7? No, it's not. It's not that one. Okay, equals 5/7. 3 can't become 5 with multiplication or division. So it's not going to be B. 15/17. Is that equal to 5/7? 15 can become 5 if we divide by 3, but 17 divided by 3 is not 7, so it's not C. And the last one, 10/14 and 5/7. 10 can become 5 if we divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Yep, it's D. The table shows the cups of whole wheat flour required to make dog biscuits. So it takes 10. To make 10 dog biscuits, we need 2 cups of flour. How many cups of whole wheat flour are required to make 35 biscuits? Ooh, okay. So my arrows are going to go towards what I don't know. But 10 can't become 35. So I'm going to need to use a stepping stone we've talked about before. What can 10 become that can then become 35? Well, 10 can become 5. 10 can also become 70, and 70 can become 35. I'm going to use 5. 10 can become 5. How does 10 become 5? I need to divide by 2. I'll do the same to the flour. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So to make 5 dog biscuits, we need 1 cup of flour. Arrows towards what we don't know. Can 5 become 35? Yes, it can. Times 7. 1 times 7 is 7. So it takes 7 cups. A school population was predicted to increase by 50 students a year for the next 10 years. If the current population is 700 students, what will the enrollment be after 10 years? Okay. So, right now, we have 700 students. It's going to increase by 50 students a year for the next 10 years. So, we're going to add 50. Here's year 1. Another 50 would be year 2. Another 50 would be year 3. I could do that 10 times. Oh, that seems like it's going to take a long time. So, instead, I think I'm going to have 10 groups of 50. So I'm going to do 10 times 50, and that'll tell me how many students the population will increase by. 10 times 50 is 500. Okay, because multiplying by 10 moves king decimal to the right. 500. So is my answer 500? Well, let's look at what the question said. What will the enrollment be after 10 years? So there's already 700. It grew by 500. So the answer is not 500. Okay? The answer is 700 plus 500, which is 1,200. I actually could have gotten rid of both of these straight from the beginning, because right now the enrollment is 700 and it's increasing. So there's no way it can be either of those. Okay, moving on to the back. There are 12 boys and 15 girls in your class. 4 new students, 3 boys and 1 girl join your class. Compare the ratio of boys to girls before and after the new students enrolled. So the ratio before they enrolled was 12 boys to 15 girls. And now 3 boys joined, so we're up to 15 boys, and 1 girl joined to 16 girls. Okay, let's simplify this first one because it can be simplified. We can divide the top and bottom by 3. Originally, for every 4 boys in your class, there were 5 girls. This one can't be simplified. So now it's for every 15 boys in your class, there are 16 girls. We compared those 2 ratios. The table shows the cost of different kinds of fruit. So we have banana is the cost per pound. Then we have apple, orange, and grapes. To the nearest cent, what is the cost of 3.5 pounds of grapes? Ooh, okay. So I'm paying attention to our grapes. I know 1 pound of grapes is $1. Ooh, that's nice. I'm trying to find 3.5 pounds of grapes. So I need to make this 1 pound become 3.5 pounds. So I'm going to multiply it by 3.5. I have to do the same thing to the bottom. 3.5 pounds will cost $3.50. That makes sense because they're $1 exactly per pound. So C. Number 11, Mr. Renard bought 5 pounds of feed for his chickens for $10. How much did the feed cost per pound in dollars? Ooh, per pound. That means for 1 pound. Okay, so I'm going to put $10 on top and 5 pounds on bottom, because usually when we find a unit rate, we want 1 to be on bottom, and we're looking per pound. So for 1 pound, we want pounds on bottom. To force that to become 1, I'm going to divide by 5, because 5 divided by 5 is 1. I have to do the same thing to the top. 10 divided by 5 is $2 for 1 pound. How much did the feed cost per pound in dollars? $2 for 1 pound. We answered the question. The length of a track around a football field is 1/4 mile. How many miles do you walk if you walk 2 3/4 times around the track? Ooh, fractions. Hey, so if I walk around 1 time, how far do I go? The length of a track around a football field is 1/4 mile. So I walk 1/4 mile if I go around 1 time. Okay, but this here I'm going to walk around 2 3/4 times. So I need to make time become 2 3/4. 2 3/4. And I need to do the same thing to the bottom. So 2 3/4 times. Ooh, to get this, I'm going to need to do 1/4 times 2 3/4. Okay, to do that, I need to make this become an improper fraction. Okay, so 2 3/4. If I remember, we multiply 4 times 2 is 8. Then add 3 is 11. So that's 11/4. Okay. Now I'm going to multiply 11 over 16. I multiplied numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So if I walked around the track 2 3/4 times, I walked 11 sixteenths of a mile. Now that's not even a full mile. Does that make sense that it's not even a full mile? Because 1 time around is 1/4 a mile. So how many times would I have to walk around for it to be a mile? I'd have to do 4 times, right? So this makes sense because I didn't walk around 4 times, so I walked less than a mile. I'm going to rewrite my answer and circle it. 11 sixteenths of a mile. Okay, only 2 more. The bar graph below shows the average number of visitors to different websites during 1 month. Okay, so they're decimals because these are averages. Oh, and because it says millions of visitors. Whew. How many visitors can website B expect to have in 1 year? So, this is how many they had in 1 month. Website B had 2 million visitors in 1 month. So in 1 year, how many months are in a year? There's 12 months in a year. 12 months equal 1 year. So I'm going to take how many they get in a month, and I'm going to multiply it by 12. So 2 million times 12 is 24 million. Hey, which is G. Cool. And the last one, extended response. Caesar's 6th grade class sorted books in the library. The class sorted 45 books in 90 minutes. Write an equivalent ratio to find how long it would take to sort 120 books. So, they sorted 45 books in 90 minutes. How long would it take them to sort 120 books? So 120 books needs to be lined up with books, question mark, minutes. There is our proportion. Okay, these are equivalent ratios. How many hours will it take, part B, how many hours will it take them to sort them? Well, I need to solve this proportion. I'm going to draw my arrow towards what I don't know. Can 45 become 120? I don't think it can. 45 times 2 is 90. 45 times 3 is going to be 135, so no. Okay, I need to use a stepping stone. What can 45 become that can then become 120? Well, 120 is kind of like 12, just with a 0. I know 3 can go into 12, 4 can go into 12, 6 can go into 12. Oh, I guess I'll use 1. 1 can go into 12. None of those worked. So then I was thinking, let's try 1. 1 can become 12. 1 can become 120. So I'm going to make this 45 books become 1 book. I'm going to use that stepping stone. So I'm going to divide it by 45. 45 divided by 45 is 1. 1 book, and then I'll multiply by 120. Let's do the same exact things down here. 90 divided by 45 is 2. Ooh, so to sort 1 book, it takes 2 minutes. And then I need to multiply that times 120. 2 times 120 is 240. So it takes them 240 minutes to sort 120 books. But the question said how many hours? How many hours? So I need to figure out how many hours that are. Oh, aren't there 60 minutes in an hour? So I'm going to divide this by 60 to find the hours. And that's 4 hours. So that was part A. This is part B. Part C, suppose their rate slowed to 30 books in 90 minutes. How long would it take the class to sort 120 books? Explain your reasoning. Okay, so they slowed down to 30 books in 90 minutes. We're trying to see how long it would take them to do 120 books. Ooh, this one's going to be a little bit simpler. We're not going to have to use the stepping stone, because 30 can become 120. 30 times 4 is 120. Times 4, 90 times 4 is 360 minutes. What would that be as hours? Divide by 60, we get 6 hours. It didn't ask us it in hours, it just said how long would it take. But that way we can compare them, since we said this one was 4 hours. It would take them 6 hours here. Okay, and those are your answers for your first standardized test practice. Thanks for watching.